I don't know how I'm going to pay rent because I don't know when the next job is coming. It's like, Enrique, you have a beautiful, amazing life. That's nothing. So yeah, I love working with women because I like celebrating them. I like making them look like goddesses, like, you know, put them in a pedestal. And I feel like fashion photography does that because we don't get paid most of the time.
How many times we walk the shows and then you receive a postcard? I mean, before a postcard, hi Vlada, thank you so much for walking in my show. And you're welcome.
That's the reality, yes. Honestly, I don't have a brand or a client that I will dream to work with. I just want to have fun. So, and you know what? I also want to get paid. So my dream job is the one that I can do for money and that I have a great time doing it. So at the end, I really just want to work with nice people, with people that I like, that I get along. And also that's where you can see the magic. You know, when we all of us get along and then we create something together, that's where we shine.
He was born in San Luis Rio, Colorado, Mexico, where his journey began with local event photography and a borrowed camera.
Today, Enrique Vega's images appear in Vogue, Elle, Marie Claire, and beyond. Known for his precision, cinematic lighting, and a deep respect for women on both sides of the lens.
He's photographed stars, built portfolios, directed covers, and now shares his vision through teaching and mentorship.
From fashion editorials to commercial campaigns, Enrique brings clarity, energy, and a deep understanding of how to tell a story, not just through beauty, but through emotion and presence.
This is the eye behind the image. This is Enrique Vega, and this is his story.
Today's guest brings back a very special memory. Not mine, but Ines's. Because Enrique, you were actually the last photographer Ines had a photo shoot with before she decided to step away from modeling. And Vogue Taiwan, 9 years ago, working with you, that was the grand finale of her career.
Yes, and I remember the night before I was thinking, should I announce that tomorrow or not? But I decided not to. And I decided Enrique to be the last one because of his energy and his vision and his work. I really enjoyed it. And it felt the right moment to put the dots on that period.
So before we rewind the tape and explore your journey as an artist, we have a question to ask. Did you know that it is going to be her last photo shoot, and do you remember that photo shoot?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's such an honor. It's such an honor to see your faces again. And again, what an honor then if my photo shoot, our photo shoot was our last one. Well, I think that was a grand finale then, because those photos are like an explosion of color and they're like a party.
Yes, and also the theme of that shoot was manga. I'm a big fan of Japan and manga and anime and everything, so there was a little doubt if my decision was right, was it the right timing, but that day everything felt like this is a sign, this isn't a sign, maybe I should stop. And when we finished, my little boy was waiting for me outside, and I went out with this crazy makeup and he started crying and he was screaming. Yeah, he was screaming. He didn't want to touch me. He didn't want to come close to me. And I was like, this is it.
I
cannot go.
Makeup.
Yeah, it was crazy good makeup. That story is forever in my heart, and I have it framed, one of the photos. But yes, also the whole day was like a dream coming true. Your energy, the team.
And it was here.
Yeah, it was here. It was in this studio. I was about to say.
How does it feel, Ines, to be back here?
I wasn't sure when we got in front of the building. I remember we shot somewhere in Brooklyn, but I wasn't sure.
Of course.
I don't remember. But when we stepped in, I was like,
and oh my God, it was such a long time ago. It was like such a
9 years ago.
Reality when you just say 9 years ago. That's a long time ago. Like how much has changed?
A lot. A lot.
Everyone.
For everyone, and especially in fashion.
Yes, but what an honor, what a celebration, what a beautiful way to end a beautiful career, because you had an amazing career too.
Yes.
For both of you, I imagine has been quite a ride.
Yes, well, she's still active. Vlada is still there. I'm not. Maybe I'll step in and out soon in the future.
You still are in a way. We're here.
Yes.
We're here.
We're talking about this.
Yes, but I want to point out one more thing. We invited Enrique for our first podcast episode that we never aired due to difficulties.
Lots of difficulties.
Yeah, Vlad.
It's life.
Yes.
Life is full of difficulties.
But I want to say thank you to give us this opportunity to practice with you.
Okay.
Like you gave us this opportunity to interview you without seeing our work before that. You knew it was our first.
And I wanted to thank you so much for actually encouraging us to post, to air that episode that we said, like, we cannot do this to you. It doesn't look good, like visually. And you're like, yeah, but the story is so good. Just do it. And to me, when Ines told me that, I was like, oh my God, the amount of trust and I don't know.
And his photographer.
Yeah, and your photographer, to hear it from you that you are okay with that visuals that we made because whatever.
But it is what we were just talking about before starting this episode. You know what I like right now about, because you do this podcast, I'm also doing my podcast. So what I enjoy, what I said to you, is I just enjoy having this honest conversations about what we do. You know, to burst the bubble that a lot of people think that this industry is about. And that's really about, like, I don't care about how it looks. I don't care about, you know, the visuals of it. I think I'm really in love with what we have to say and what we said back then. So I'm very much into talking honestly about what our industry is about, because what I said over and over too in my podcast too is, like, a lot of people have this perception about fashion that we live such a glamorous life, that we make such an crazy amount of money, and we live this jet set, you know, kind of life
24/7.
Yes, but it's not. It's full of hard work, it's full of hardships, it's full of challenges, and that's what I want to talk about.
Exactly.
If
The
you
reality.
guys hear the beers, it's because I have a big window.
which we love.
Yes.
And then I have a lot of birds, so you're gonna have that sound in the background. Just
Yeah, well, I love this sound because we had a couple of episodes with banging, radiators banging.
So birds are much better.
Birds are...
I have this sound every morning at 5 a.m. They're my alarm. But yes, I mean, I really don't mind. I really like talking about what we do in an honest way and a truthful way so people can know, and also to encourage other people so they don't come like blindly into this industry, because a lot of us, I think, we're seduced by the idea of it, of, like, you know, this glamorous life. But honestly, the people that survive, they're like successful, are the ones that they just endure everything that we have to go through. You have a different story as a model. I have a different story as a photographer, but nevertheless, they're both difficult, especially in a city like New York City.
I was about to say, maybe we're in different professions, same industry. Maybe you are struggling with one thing, we're struggling with others, but the struggle is real on both sides. And in New York City, we also have this adapting to city lives and rules struggle on top of everything.
Can I interrupt you guys? I think that would be fair to tell to our guests a little bit more about our guest first, and maybe if you, Enrique, can explain to a 5-year-old what you're doing for life.
I was about to say, so
for living,
because we are not from New York City, we came from somewhere. Can we hear the story about Enrique? Where, when, why, and how?
But first, for the 5-year-old, what are you doing for living?
5-year-old?
Explain to 5-year-old kid what is Enrique doing.
What do I do? Well, I take photos, I take images. What I do is mostly with human beings, with women most of the time. and I just take beautiful photos. I just take pretty pictures. I'm not saving lives. I'm not changing the world. I'm just making beautiful images. And that's what I do if I have to explain it to a 5-year-old. But if you want to know how I came here to New York City, how I became a fashion photographer, it's a story pretty much to your story too, because I feel like a lot of us that we're here in New York City will come from somewhere.
Yes.
And most of the time it's like for another country far away. So I am from Mexico, and I started photographing and when I was in high school, and then I started an assistant, a local photographer. I was doing weddings and quinceañeras and all of these social events. But then I was, like I said, seduced by the idea of becoming a fashion photographer, because, you know, all of us grew up seeing all those images that they're like so beautiful, and they're like, how to say it? It's like a celebration of everything that is beautiful. Especially with me, I love working with women because I like celebrating them. I like making them look like goddesses, like, you know, put them in a pedestal. And I feel like fashion photography does that. You know, probably they present an irrealistic image of a woman. But what I like about it is that, you know, going further into the beauty of it. How can we make something, or at least that's what I really like about my career. How can a model that is already so beautiful, making her look even more beautiful? Like, beauty in general really inspires me, and I really want to, you know, make beauty something, you know, magnificent in every way. So I started with social events, and then I aspired to be a fashion photographer. And once I met a fashion photographer that I was in Mexico, and I asked him if I could work for him, just like an intern or whatever. And he said yes, probably thinking that I couldn't move to New York City because I was in Mexico, but I did. And then one day I just arrived at his door and I said, I'm here. And then he just had to take me in.
In New York?
In New York, yes. So I came to New York City thinking that I was gonna be here for like 2 months, just being an intern. But 2 months became 6 months after I became his second assistant. 6 months became a year after I became his first assistant. And then I just stay here. Not because I wanted to, but because I guess I was stuck here. Because something that I say about New York City all the time is like, it's not that I love New York City all the time, because it's a tough city.
It is.
You know, it's a love-hate relationship.
That's exactly true.
It's
Right
so
there.
true.
It is.
So
It's
true.
a hot hate-love relationship, because New York City is so tough with you. It's so tough. But at the same time, when you are away from New York City, it's like, I need it back.
Exactly like this.
Right? I feel like we are so spoiled at the same time, because I go somewhere else and I miss New York City. I miss the rush. I miss, I don't know.
Accessibility to a lot of things
I don't
at
know.
any time.
I guess I just became like, you know, addicted to it too.
For
And
sure,
another
we do
thing is
become
because
addicted.
I'm really passionate about what I do. I really love my job. You know, so I don't mind really investing myself in a city like New York City, where you constantly have to be working, when you constantly have to be hustling.
Yeah.
You know, so that's something that I like about New York, and that's how I moved here. I mean, I'm saying this like really shortly, but of course there were a lot of tears in in between. So after working for like a year with this photographer, he fired me, and then
What did you do? You became better than him?
Probably.
no, well.
Maybe.
What happened is that I don't know. I don't like to talk bad about other people. With this photographer, I was working for like a year, and I learned a lot. It was like a military school of photography, but he's not exactly the version of person that I want to be,
Hard.
and the way that he treated other people, because he used to fire on a regular basis other assistants, and they will come back. So he never fired me, but when he did,
never
I didn't come back. And it was for something silly. I think I called him a liar.
It's okay.
I think he was
He
looking
lied.
for some files, and he was saying that he didn't find them. And then I said, but they're there. They're like, they was making a big deal about it. But anyway, he fired me, then I didn't come back. But that was good for me, because After being there for like about a year, I learned everything that I needed to learn. And then what happened is that I started working in a Mexican restaurant as a waiter. And I had the best 6 months of my life.
Really?
Yes.
After fashion?
Yes. I was not happy when I was working in that studio.
Of course.
You know,
With a person like that?
with a person like that, and then honestly at the end I was taking photos for him, so I was doing all of the work. Which I don't mind because I was learning. I really wanted to do it.
But there is a human part that you...
I was drained. I think it was such a toxic environment that I really didn't. That's why also, because I that's another reason I didn't come back. It was not healthy. It was not a healthy environment. It was toxic. So I had the best time in my life being a waiter, you know, just talking to strangers because I have friends. I have fun. And I was making more money as a waiter. Yes.
Are you surprised? Are you shocked?
You shouldn't be shocked because in fashion, a lot of things that you think we make a lot of money, we don't.
We don't.
Can I ask you? You said you were second assistant, then you were first assistant. What is the difference? Like, what do you do as a second? What do you like? What is that grade? And
so I started as an intern, and as an intern, you do a lot of things, general things.
Coffee.
Yes, coffee. I was even just walking his dogs, like.
So nothing related to photography.
It was more like an spectator, and I was just doing anything that I was required to do. So that's how I started as an intern. Then when I learned a little bit more, I was helping more, you know, with lighting or with the setup as a second assistant. You know, I was shadowing the first assistant where he was just more familiar with everything.
And you being a second assistant, you were watching the first one doing that? And
yes. And then after I learned that, I just became the first assistant, and then I had more responsibilities, and I was in charge of more stuff. So
were you paid?
Barely. But I didn't mind because, like I said, I just wanted to learn.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know how to do things. So I was not really making any money. My family was helping me a lot, and I barely had to survive to pay the rent and to pay for food. But it was so exciting in the way that it was, you know, I was getting to work with professional models from New York City. It was also very intimidating, you know, because another thing that I'm really grateful of this photographer, it might not be the best person in the world, but he pushed me to do things. You said, when I thought that I was not ready to take photographs of a professional model, he said, like, just take it, do it. I mean, I don't know, because maybe just throwing me in there and just doing it. And of course I was really scared, but in that way I learned a lot, and I just had to do it. And that's another thing that I love about New York City. New York City push you, you know,
to your limits.
To your limits all the time. So it's intense.
It is. But also, I think if you did not enjoy and if you did not feel New York in the right way, you would leave. A lot of people come try, they're not mentality or emotionally, they're not for New York, and they leave. So you stayed because New York City at the end was good for you.
I think I stayed because I wanted to be someone.
Bravo.
And I think a lot of the people, I mean, this is something that I said over and over, because I feel that the people that have success here in New York City is not the more talented, is not the most charismatic, is not the one with the most important contacts or people that they know. Is the one that perseveres, is the one that endures, is the one that it could still be here through adversity. So New York City is a city about survival,
yes,
more than talent. And I feel, and personally, me growing up as an homosexual in Mexico gave me that endurance, because I have to fight for myself since I was a kid. So I was ready for that. I've been doing it all my life. I've been dealing, with bullying since I was in kindergarten. So I think I was tough in that way already. And I think in many ways, that's why I've survived for many years here in New York City at the beginning, but don't think, it was like easy for me. Of course, I had cried in this apartment many, many times. I've been this close to like, giving up, but I haven't.
Pack
so
your
far.
stuff and leave.
Oh, yes. Several times.
Enrique, you said you wanted to be someone. Did you have that image who exactly you want to be, and where were you going? Did you have that path clear? I mean, that goal?
I think it is very important. It's a great question, because I always knew what I wanted. I always knew what I wanted to be. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be a fashion photographer. How to get there, that I didn't know at all.
What is success for you?
Success for me, I can tell you right now what success feels like.
That's good enough.
Well, success for me is to be happy.
Bravo.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, people think success is, for someone is money, for someone is number of covers, for someone is just feeling
and they're
good.
all valid.
Yes, that's what
They're
I'm
all
saying.
valid.
What is success for you?
Well,
We all have a different vision of
perception of success. I think success for me is that being happy, because I never feel happier in my life. Even if my life is not perfect, even if I have difficulties, I still live day to day, paying rent here in New York City. So it's not like I'm making a ton of money, but I love what I do so much. It gives me so much joy. That for me is happiness, and that for me is happiness. And then to be paid for what I do,
You made it.
Definitely. That's
Definitely.
amazing. Just to work in what I love and make a living out of it, even if it's a struggle, because I still struggling as a freelancer. I'm so happy. And then I don't know if you guys can see, but for example, I built this wall in the pandemic, but I did it just to remind myself how far have I come. Because I'm pretty sure, and that happens to you too, you forget everything that you have been through. And this wall is a statement of just reminding myself everything that I achieved, so I can also feel it and own it.
Yeah.
And
Because
tap yourself on the shoulder
yes,
sometimes.
because for me it's like, good job, Enrique. It's like,
But that's also psychologically very, very good. Reminding yourself that you've been there, you've done that, you went through whatever tunnel you had to go through before the light came back into your life, because we all have that.
That happened to you too?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you know of all your achievements? Are you like aware of them all the time? Because they're big achievements, both of you.
I think I stopped thinking that way when I decided to quit modeling. I did not wanna. I felt guilt at some point that I stopped, because I felt like I gave up Ines's dream, like a little Ines, and I took easier way. Because it's easy to quit, and I was telling myself at some point that I'm a quitter. Like, why did you do that?
But you also mother.
Yes, and that was the other task on the scale that was saying, yeah, but you quit because you wanted to be full-time mom. So that's why my tunnel wasn't too long, but also I was just so tired and so exhausted. 16 years, it was
very
just like I realized that I was tired of talking to people.
Really?
Yeah.
In
And
which
here
way?
she is.
And then, yes,
Talking to people.
but because I took a break and then I start missing it then.
It's a reset.
And,
Yes.
and she's not modeling. She's not standing posing quietly. She's like talking to people.
Because another thing that I love for background, they just ask me, how do you feel, Enrique, to be now following instructions for a model? I love it.
So before we started this, Vlada was doing setup, and she was telling Enrique, "Can you move left
I
to the
love
left?
to
Can you
see
move to
that
the right?"
side.
Right?
Yes.
You know why? Because I really love to see women in charge.
Oh yeah.
I love it. It's very empowering, and that's what I want. I also like about what
But
I
have
do.
you ever been directed this way for something like this ever in your life? Usually you are the one who is directing models, so you had the upside down day today.
I don't mind. This is your podcast, so I'm in your hands.
At your studio.
At your studio, two models are
No,
directing
taking
you.
over.
I really like it. I just love And that's another reason why I love what I do, is because I work with a lot of women, and I really like to celebrate women, and I love to see successful and charged women, you know? I really like it. It's very inspiring to me because I grew up surrounded by women. My mother, my aunts, my grandmother, sort of, they're like my idols. So I feel like I'm always drawn to like women like that, they're thriving and they're like, you know, taking charge of their lives. So I absolutely don't mind.
Okay. We'll do this a couple of times. He's enjoying it. Yeah, when I took a break and I was talking only to kids for a couple of years at the playground, you know, I realized that was the moment when I started realizing how different my life was, because all the mothers at the playground are corporate workers, or, you know, something that is just so common. And I would never ever say that I was a model. I was no. And when they found out, what a couple of families from playground found it during COVID, so 6, 7, 8 years later, what I did in my previous life, that was the moment when I realized I'm going to do the podcast sooner or later. Because during COVID, this podcast idea was like constantly in my mind.
Did you see the interest from people?
Yes, because
in
when
that
they
subject,
yes,
right?
Yes.
That's
And
What was their reaction when they knew that?
first they were like, "Oh, I cannot believe you never mentioned it."
You should brag about it. Why didn't you mention it?
And I'm like, well, how do you say, "Hey, do you know who I am? I was model." I mean, I can do that for fun, but I cannot see myself saying that to anyone in serious conversation. But people were like, "Oh, you should talk about that. There is social media. You should."
People are intrigued about what we do very much.
Very much. And that pushed me to actually think seriously about the podcast.
Yeah.
And talk about, because I had a lot of questions. Oh, photographer, you know, how, so they would now do the research about me. Oh, how did this? Look at this hair. Is that your real hair? Is that
I'm even
your
intrigued about your life too. It's like, what does it feel to work with this photographer?
Yes.
Because you done, I mean, some amazing stuff. We're working in this campaign. How was it? So I feel like in general, people are just really intrigued about what we do.
Yeah.
And sometimes we take for granted what we do and we think it's boring, but people are so fascinated about what we do.
But do you think it's also because of that mystery bubble that is created?
Yes.
And now we are breaking that bubble,
Yes.
that it's not going to be so interesting very sometime soon?
Well, this is still very interesting.
I don't think we're breaking the bubble. Social media broke that. You have,
long time ago.
Everything
We are
is
just
much more exposed.
Yeah.
Yes, but we are just telling the truth. The people are saying their stories in their way, with their feelings and with the facts. You know, in social media, you still do have this glittery image of everything in fashion.
We have both, and I think both are valid because I love the fantasy of fashion.
Me too.
For example, I really love shooting editorials because it's about the fantasy. It's about creating a fantasy world. At least that's what I like in my work. So I feel like there's always, it's good to have both sides, the side of the, you know, fashion and the, you know, fantasy editorial side, and then just also telling the truth. So I feel both.
And you know, I don't see anything weird about the fantasy or not right, because, for example, I remember when I was a little kid, the photographer would come to kindergarten with a camera, and they would set up us, like, you know, in some like weird Victorian clothes, and I'm sitting there with a hat like this. Is it normal? No, I never wear this. But for this picture, for the memory, like, they created this image, and it was standing there on my parents' shelf for.
But it existed forever.
Right?
Yeah.
So we do tend to make pictures better than real life, right?
Right. I guess, yes. And why not?
Why? I was about to say, why not?
Why not? It's so pleasing to see, you know, this. I guess, I mean, if we can have it in real life, at least we can look at it. We can fantasize about it.
Enrique, do you remember what shaped your visual taste, aesthetic when you were growing up?
What shaped my visual aesthetic? I think it was I don't know. I feel like definitely growing up surrounded by women, I was just very inspired by their glam because, Latina women are very glam by nature. They love makeup, they love to dress up. So I grew up watching that, and I was just drawn to it.
The colors of...
I don't know, I just really like it. I really love, for example, I have images of my mother. Just like when she was changing in front of the mirror, she was celebrating herself. And I really like that about her, giving herself that moment to look good, to feel good. And those moments happen when she was all dressed up, when she was just all like glammed up. So for me, I love glam, which was also a fight that I have in my career, because in this career, there's like a rainbow of tastes. And at the beginning, I was trying to prove myself and say, like, I can do this style, I can do this, and that. Did I like it? No, but I wanted to prove that I can do everything. I can do everything. But it wasn't till I started to embrace, okay, I really love glam. And I know that some editors, they don't like it. And that's okay. And that's okay. At the beginning, I wanted for everybody to like me. But when I started embracing that glam, that's when I started to look at my work, because I was shining there. Even if it was not the taste of everyone, I started to build my audience because I really embrace, the glam that I really loved and liked, and I started doing it. And that's how my aesthetic and my, I think my identity as a photographer started. When I started embracing what I really liked doing, not to please everyone. So I feel in that way, just embracing what I love without thinking if everybody's gonna like it. That's what opened many doors for me. All of those photo shoots that I did in my own time with my friends doing what I wanted to do are the ones that are more successful in my book, are the ones that they draw clients. Even if they don't want to do that, but they can see something in there and they like it and they love it. Yes, they can feel it because I feel it.
Because you enjoyed it and that it's translated into the image and energy.
Yes, you can totally see when you enjoy something and when you shine at something. And another thing that I say is, like, in photography, at least, I don't think there's wrong or right. Everything is valid. You like to photograph, the reality of life with no retouching, no makeup. That's beautiful too. Everything is valid. It's whatever you like, whatever you feel, whatever you're passionate about.
So the secret is in telling the truth.
I guess what everybody enjoys is...
Your truth, yeah.
I think what everybody enjoys is the truth. Yeah. Even when we speak here, I think people are really into human experience, and human experience that they're sincere. Like they're about truth and honesty. So, yeah.
You know how they say kids always feel the liar from far away, the energy. You cannot fake the energy. You can fake the smile. You can fake the tone. But the energy, they feel it. They may not understand what you're saying, but they feel your 100%, intentions.
And that's another thing that I said. I learned to trust my gut and to trust my intuition, because all of those decisions that I took with the heart, even if my rational mind was saying to do something else, are the ones that they get me further in life. So I always said, do what your heart is telling you, even if it's not the rational thing, because in my experience, that's what has gotten me, further into life and success and happiness.
Yeah. What was the moment when you realized you're successful, your dream came true, you're true to yourself? Was it a particular job or moment in your career? Do you know?
Of course, there's
There are stages, but the first one.
I think definitely when I got published in Vogue, the first time that I was published in Vogue, the first time that I had my first Vogue cover, that was like...
That's it.
Yes, that felt so good.
Oh my God, he still remembers
that moment. Yes, and he's feeling it. Yes.
But you know what I love? For example, my very first Vogue cover, this is one of my absolute favorites, and it was one of the most popular ones, but also was quite painful to obtain. Like, I remember like 2 days before that photo shoot, I was crying in that bathroom in this apartment, just saying like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know if I can do it. Like everything was against me. But I did it against everything that it was in my path. And it's one of my favorite images. It was my first Vogue cover, and it's one of the most successful in my book. But, you know, I really like saying that the truth, the beautiful and the bad about things, so people can see the richness of it too, you know.
Do you think the intense of that success was even bigger because you felt so low before doing it?
Of course, I don't know if this is masochistic, but you know, I value it even more because it was not easy. And you know, I fight for it, and it took a lot of work and effort from my part, and I'm really proud of myself to achieve it. I'm really proud of myself of not giving up, because the result is 1,000 times more valuable than whatever whatever, you know, pain that I endure, I think. And at the end, you know, in what we do, sometimes I feel like a lot of our problems are first world problems. You know, am I crying because I don't have a Vogue cover? It's not the end of the world. What's the end? What's the worst that is gonna happen? Because the hard reality is in Mexico, back in my country, when a lot of people are suffering, a lot of people are struggling. Those are the real problems. So every time that I feel overwhelmed because I don't know how I'm going to pay rent, because I don't know when the next job is coming, it's like, Enrique, you have a beautiful, amazing life. That's nothing. So,
I mean, yeah, but it's still your life. It's
And
your
your dream.
problems, and you're dealing with it. So
my
it is
reality.
valid as well. Can you share, please? You said before your first Vogue shoot, you were crying and saying everything against me and stuff. Can you share what
happened?
I was just overwhelmed because I was just with the task of, first of all, you get nervous. It's a Vogue cover.
Did you sleep that night? Not at all?
No. I was very stressful because, of course, it was my first Vogue cover, but also because money-wise, I didn't know how to deal with many things. Because another thing that people think about our industry is they see all this editorial work that we do for Vogue and all these magazines, and they think we have the budget to do it. No. All of those images, most of them for editorial work, they don't pay you, or they pay you very little. So you have to do wonders with very little money. And that was the case too with this cover. It's like, we have this budget, but we're spending all of this money. How am I gonna do it? I have to put it from my own pocket to make it work. So trying to solve those problems just to make it work, just to have it, that was the overwhelming thing to me. I was given all this tasks for myself, and I have to solve it myself. And you know, I wanted to do it because it's very easy for them to call someone else to do it. You know, everybody wants to do it. So in my case, that was the challenge with a lot of the covers that you see in my book.
And was that cover guaranteed?
Yes, at least I was commissioned to do it. I mean, I was commissioned to shoot it specifically for the cover, but for many of those, Vlada, that's a great question. Sometimes you don't even know if they're gonna publish it. They don't even know if they're gonna run it. You know, it's a gamble.
So you put a lot into it, a lot of financial.
Oh, yes.
Not only.
I invested so much in my editorial work, you have no idea. But at the end, I see it as that. It's an investment. Especially when you have these endorsements for Bazaar, Vogue, you see clients, they see that work in your portfolio, and suddenly you're worth it. You're worth the money, and they pay you to do commercial work. So even when we don't get paid for this editorial work that you see in these fashion magazines, it's an investment to our book. And I'm pretty sure it's the same way with you, because we don't get paid most of the time.
How many times we walk the shows and then you receive a postcard? I mean, before a postcard, hi Vlada, thank you so much for walking in my show, and you're welcome.
That's the reality. Yes. I mean, I don't know much about you models, but I know from my side, at least when we're doing this editorial work, most of us, we collaborate for free.
Yes.
You know, we don't
Not
get
even
paid.
for taxi.
not for nothing. It's an investment. I invest in the production. At least I want to feed my crew. I pay for the food. I pay for I want to have a set. I invested because if I'm going to be published in Vogue, I want it to look good because once it's published, it's gonna be there for the rest forever. You're gonna be part of that history.
You will die, but your work will stay there.
Yes, especially there's that literal archive when you get there. When you get to Vogue, you are part of the best of the best. You are part of that history, of that archive. So if I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it my best, even if I have to invest money, because like I said, at the end, it's an investment for my book, for my career. But a lot of people think that we could pay a lot of money for it. No.
And so you invest in your creating all of the environment and the team. So do you have to choose the team you're working with, or it's still the magazine who dictates who they want?
It goes both ways. Some magazines already have their team set up and they just brought you in. But for me, most of the time, I was allowed to get my own crew. And that was great because for me, it's not enough to be talented. I want to work with people that we are connected energetically, that I get along.
Very important.
It's very important, the energy in set is so important. If someone is in a bad mood, if someone is rude, if someone is not being a good human being, it just affects everyone. So at the end, I really just want to work with nice people, with people that I like, that I get along. And also that's where you can see the magic. When we all of us get along and then we create something together, that's where we shine.
So how would you deal with someone who accidentally showed up with a bad mood? Something happened. How do you deal with this?
Well, I feel like if someone is not first of all, we are humans. We can have a bad day.
Yeah, exactly.
You can be sick.
And you don't want to be banned forever because you once showed up in a bad mood.
Yeah, but I also think you can feel it. Is it a bad day,
or it's
a
person.
Bad aura forever there? I think you can feel it.
Yes, you can definitely feel
if you
it.
want to. If you don't want to, if you are just so closed-minded, then you just black and white, you see things black and white, then there is no how.
Well, to be honest, I feel like so far I've been so lucky to work with nice people. And I feel my first approach, if someone is not in a good mood, is, also be human. And, say like, how are you? Are you okay?
I remember I used to show up guilty, show up in a bad mood. I don't know, I was a kid, right? And now when I rewind and think about it, I know that people like you came with best intentions asking me, how are you? And I was like, don't you see how I am? Like, why are you asking me this? So it was, I didn't know how to deal with it actually. And I was like,
being asked?
Yeah, they're asking me now, they see that I'm in a bad mood. What do I do with this? Like, I was a kid. I didn't know how to simply just admit, yes, I'm not feeling well right now.
Oh, I would admit and toss everything there.
Yeah, and I was trying to. I'm
to
fine,
hold it,
but
pretend.
and that's when it's faking and it doesn't go well.
But I feel like the first step is to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
It's like,
they didn't know any better.
it's like, I just want to know, it's like, are you physically ill? Do you feel bad? Because also I'm going to treat you differently.
Yeah.
I know that you're having a bad day. I know that it's difficult for you. So it's just, I feel that the first approach is to be just upfront and at least acknowledge that whatever is happening, you have a bad day, you just broke with your boyfriend, you
just be honest, right?
Just be honest. At least that's the first step to get into a better mood. But I think honestly, in general, I've been so lucky to work with very nice people and very nice human beings. Also because I feel your energy setups, the energy for everything else.
But you also had a bad experience. You also worked on a daily basis with someone who was not,
and you wanted to be the opposite.
Yes, and you learned how not to be.
Yes, very much.
Because everyone is an example. an example of good or example of bad.
What you don't want to be.
Yes. So that experience is always valuable, even if it's something bad.
Yes. So, but I do feel a lot, at least in my set, a lot comes from me. But also because I feel we as photographers, I mean, we are like the captain of the ship. It's still a teamwork, but a lot of decisions, they go through us. And I think we set up the mood and the ground for everything.
For sure.
And starting with the energy in the set, I feel like if you are kind, if you are present, if you are nice, people gonna start mirroring that, you know? Because when you feed it into the toxic behavior, that's when it gets worse and worse. And it's not enjoyable.
And no one will benefit out of it.
And that's why I also, for example, I always, with my crew, I want to work with nice people. I want to work with my friends because I know that that's gonna be, you know,
something
the bar.
special.
That's gonna be where, you know, the energy that you're gonna encounter, even if you're having a bad day. You know, you're gonna come and, oh, everybody's so nice. Everybody's in a good mood. So we start mirroring each other in good and bad ways. When you go into a toxic environment, everything goes bad. Everything feels, you know, like
rotten.
Yes, but when everybody's
Contagious.
it's like we are a reflection of everything. So if you are kind, if you are nice, if you are a good person, good things are gonna reflect from that, from everybody else.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think so.
Do you remember the energy of the shoot every time you look at some image? Because I do. When I see some of my editorial work, some photos I like more because I enjoy the process. Some photos I don't even want to see. Because I did not enjoy it, was toxic or it was bad. Even if I looked amazing on that photo, I still don't like it because of the energy. Because I remember how the process was painful emotionally or whatever for me, and I don't enjoy. Do you have that?
I don't.
He worked with nice people only.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, like I said, and
That's why we can choose now.
And hopefully, I mean, it's. To be honest, I don't remember like a nightmare shoot.
Well, lucky you.
I don't. I remember everything before, like, you know, when it's a difficult shoot to produce, to do. But when we're on set, I don't. So far.
So when you come to the set, you have precise vision what you want to get at the end of the day.
Oh yes, for me it's very important to know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to achieve it, because if I go to the set and I don't know what I'm going to do it, that's when everything goes like I need to know exactly what I'm going to do.
Vision board, mood board.
Oh yes, that's something that I teach in my class from the very beginning. It's all about preparing, and it's all about pre-production. Have an idea, have your mood board, have your team, just build everything so we can get to that point. It doesn't have to be like the image that you're inspired, but it's gonna come something.
It's like a roadmap.
Yes, exactly. It's like having a compass. So that's the first thing that I teach in my class is like, prepare, do a mood board, have an idea, develop it. And so when you are on set, first, you're not wasting anybody's time, and you go into that goal straight on. That's the way I do it, and I like to do it. So every time that and actually, that's the only moments that I feel I haven't feel good in a set is when I don't have a clear idea of that. When I don't have that from a client. It's like, what do you want? I'm here to execute what you want. If you hire me for this, just let me know. When they don't know, that's a painful thing.
Can it be that they're like, okay, we don't know what to do, but Enrique, here is your playground, just do whatever you want?
Yes, at least when they tell me that, I know that I have free range to do that. Okay, so what do you think of this? I love that creative collaboration. So I just love to be clear about communication. You don't know what you want me to do it, I'll do it very.
But then don't tell me, oh no, now go different direction.
I feel whatever little direction you have, just give it to me. I take it from there. That's also my job, you know, because a lot of clients, they don't let you do many things. You know, it's like they give you this little box of restrictions, and then you just have to make it look beautiful. with all those construction.
Okay, when you say restrictions, what kind of restrictions we are talking here?
For example, there are many clients they don't like a specific poses.
Okay.
They don't like we don't like this pose like this. We don't like what the model looks like that. We like, especially with something commercial, we want to see the garment in this way. You know, a lot of people, every client is different. Everybody has a different vision of what they want. And my job is to make it look beautiful within all of this, you know, restrictions that they give me, because there is restrictions.
So then you would direct a model. You would tell her, like, let's avoid this and let's go that direction, right?
Yes. Another thing that I teach in my class is that very important that you communicate with your model what you want to have a visual reference. It's like we're looking for a pose like this. We're looking for this kind of expression. And also when I'm shooting, I'm giving a lot of direction and feedback. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit of a joke because I hear myself talking. I'm like, I'm too much.
No, but that's so helpful.
Do you remember?
Oh, I do. Oh my! That's why I think that was one of the reasons I really enjoyed that shoot. The makeup took forever. I was on that chair forever. People, like crew, was, you know, they were sleeping while I was doing makeup because it was just so complex.
Yes.
Right. And then after the first makeup, I was like, please, God, make him so precise, because if we're gonna do in front of camera another 2 hours, I'll shoot myself, you know. And he was so good. He was like, I think every photo took 10 minutes max, because he was just so precise. And I felt after the first, I was like, he's the one, you know, we can do 10 of images like this, because, and he was constantly saying things up, down, left, right. So I felt like puppet, you know, but in a good way.
We were working together. It's
Yes.
a feedback.
Yes.
You know, I'm telling you what is working.
And what is the best? So I'm not guessing, you know. I
Yes.
have this strong, weird makeup, you know, maybe I look like an idiot if I look this way. If he doesn't tell me, I don't know, because I don't see myself. So for me, that was really,
And
really
that's
good.
a subject, for example, that I'm very intrigued, because I know you models, you work with many kinds of different photographers. And sometimes I hear like they're photographers that they don't say anything.
Anything.
For me, that is like, how?
Yeah.
Nothing, mute, the entire show.
And then they stop in front of the computer and doing something, looking, and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, am I
You're
doing
guessing.
it right?
The
Am I doing
whole
it
day you were
wrong?
guessing.
Well, for me, no. And again, it's not that it's right or wrong. Everybody
It's a
has
style.
a different approach to their work, to their.
But to us, I mean, to me and Ines, at least, it helps to
That's
hear the
very
feedback.
I know that it for you models is very helpful when I let you know when it's working or not. You know, when you know that you're doing the right thing, or even when you don't, it's like, maybe not like this way.
Perfect. You know, if you say not this way,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
perfect.
Easy. I'm just avoiding it.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. That brings another question. Do you like to show to a model on the screen how it looks?
Yes, and I know.
Why yes and why not?
Yes, very much. You know, this is working. And I know that it could be difficult because it's a vulnerable thing also for us photographers, you know, because probably they're going to see a bad photo. Probably they're, I don't know, they're going to criticize your lighting, or they're going to criticize, especially with a client, you know. But nowadays, and at least the way that I work, I always have a screen for a client, and they know, they see in everything, but I like it because I also get feedback. You know, they're there to let you know it's working or not. They're going to see a bad photo. That's fine. It's part of the process. But I love to, if I could.
But not every photo is a good photo.
Yeah, not everybody. We get there.
Yeah.
If I could, I would love to have a big mirror behind me so you can see what you're doing. Because I know, does it help when you see yourself on your side?
Steven Meisel.
I know. I'd love to do that. But yes, definitely. I loved showing, because, you know, it's about time too. We need to be fast. This is working. Can we do more of this?
Because I had this like strong makeup, anime style. He wanted at one photo for me to look somewhere off, right? And then because my eyes are big and this big makeup, you know, I can do a lot of off look, right? Too far away. And then he showed to me like this much far, not too far, because if you look too far, the makeup is not, you're not fitting the makeup. Yes. So I was like, okay, good. And then I found the dot on the wall and it was just so easy because I saw how ugly it is if I go off, you know?
And it's about being efficient. Like I said, it's about time, because you know, especially when we do beauty, I shoot a lot of beauty. Makeup takes a lot of time, and we have to do 5 looks through the day. We need to be fast if we want to do it in a day. So I got used to work in an environment where we need to take decisions on the moment. Be fast, be efficient. It's about time management, and that only comes with, you know, just communicating. But I love hearing myself when I see like BTS. Sometimes I feel like I'm too much like yes, no, yes.
But that's cool. I love it.
I mean, I hate hearing myself too, so I don't.
But it's such a cliche. I mean, of the photographer, just like. But honestly, I do it like. It's just it's like naturally what helps and what, you know, that's my process. But so to me, it's like, it's very intriguing how other photographers can work in silence. Not saying that is a bad thing. It's just like how they get there.
It's hard. It's hard for model. It's super hard. You're guessing, you're doubting yourself, everything, you know, and then they look at you and like,
you feel judged.
Judged big time.
Yes. You feel judged. You feel it with us.
And you're leaving the place not knowing.
I feel it with the client, with the creative director, with the editor. They're seeing everything. Do you like it or not? It's like, but yes, I feel like.
Also, that's why, like, even for the podcast, we like when we read some critiques when they're like saying something. We're like, okay, great. Let us see.
Let us know what is not working.
Yeah, for me, I don't take it personally. I just take it as a. For me, it's like, oh, someone watched it and someone paid attention. You know, someone paid attention and they're
engaged.
Yes.
Yes,
took their time to give you feedback.
Yes.
I have another question. Since we're talking about how clients also see what you do and then you can show model real time what it is. Did you, when you started, did you also work with film or you started with digital?
Yes, I started my career shooting film. So no retouching. You have 28 images and
in a roll.
I started like that, and then, you know, waiting for the film.
Yeah.
Under the art.
There's no real-time feedback.
Honestly, I hate the dark room. I used to hate it. I was not good at it. But I started my career right in when it changed to digital. So I learned photography with film and to work with light through film. And then I just have to adjust to the digital era. Which was a little bit different, but I have both. I know both. I mean, probably I don't know if I can deal with the film right now, but I learned through that school of film photography.
If you start going back to
you cannot mess up talking about that. I mean, now we take hundreds, thousands of images and there's no problem. Back then, no, you have a few ones and you don't see what you getting till like you get the film.
A few days later.
I mean, all my respect to all of those photographers back in the day. I mean, Avedon, Helmut Newton, all of them, they were, especially Helmut Newton, they said that he used to shoot like 5 images. That's it.
I worked with photographer in Tokyo who used 1 film for the entire editorial.
Whoa.
Incredible. Yeah. I thought I had that record with Karl Lagerfeld.
Yeah, he was shooting like...
Yeah. He like also like 5-10 clicks and he's like, we're done. I asked him why so fast, and he explained to me. He's like, "Why do we need to take 100? Back then, film was so expensive; they couldn't afford to take 100 pictures. And you're standing there; it's beautiful, it's great. Why do I need to take so many pictures?"
Wow,
this photographer, this photographer in Tokyo, he would walk around me. So he would ask them hair, makeup, very precise, very directed, and he would place me in one spot. And then he would walk around.
Was he Japanese?
Yes. walk around with his camera. Then sometimes he looks through the camera, sometimes he doesn't, sometimes, you know, and then that's a long process, probably 10, 15 minutes. And then he takes a snap or two and that's it.
What about Polaroids? He did Polaroids before?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's-
he did, but for lighting.
For lighting.
Not for the
lighting
pose.
test.
Yes.
But yeah, for the pose, that means also you as model have to find the perfect pose.
No, he would put you there and then he walks around, you know, he figured things
Wow.
out and then he's directing you
Wow.
a little bit. But there were not poses as you can imagine. It's like more look left, move your arms, like tiny movements, tiny poses.
That's so amazing to me how everybody has a different creative process. And like I said, it's not bad, it's not
Yeah,
good, it's not
it's just
wrong.
different.
It's just different.
It's just
everybody
different, yeah.
everybody like approaches the creative process differently. And at the end, you know, it's for you know, to do something beautiful. It's so the creative process to me is so intriguing because that's what I love the most. That's one of the things that I love most about my career, the creative collaboration, makeup, hair, models, when we all come to do something together, to create together. So to me, that's quite
Process.
amazing. And
journey.
he knew exactly what
Yes.
he wanted.
And Enrique, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, your favorite thing to photograph is beauty, right?
Well, I love everything, but I think what I've been commissioned to do the most is beauty, which is so funny because I was so scared to shoot beauty at the beginning of my career.
So that's why you're doing it
I don't-
most of the
I mean,
time.
to me, it's amazing, and I mean,
But scared why?
because I remember the first time that I did beauty. Oh my god! The first time that I did beauty with a professional model, when I was assisting this photographer. First of all, I was so intimidated because you're this close to
You're
the
looking right through the soul.
Yes. You just have like it's the proximity about I think what I feel so intimidating. But I guess because I felt so intimidated at the beginning, I found the fire within me to really, you know, go beyond that and conquer that fear, which is so funny to me because I didn't plan it. I didn't say like, I'm gonna become a beauty photographer. No, it just happened. Like people ask me for beauty. It's like, okay, so I have to be better at it. And little by little, I started just like, honestly, now I think I really like to be that personal and a beauty shot. Because like you said, is no distraction. It's about a human face. That's it. And what I like the most, and when they're looking straight to you, you know, because you see the image and from any angle that you see it, it's going to be looking at you. I feel that very empowering. I like the confidence on it. And I didn't notice till recently, like a couple years ago, another photographer was here and he said like, Enrique, all of your models are looking straight to the camera. It's like, you really like when they're just watching straight to you. And also because it's really catching, it's like, they catch your attention and it's really
that's
powerful. I feel it's so beautiful, the power of your face, of like and that's actually a reflection of myself too, because I love looking at people at the eyes when I'm talking to them. You know, I am present. I am here with you. I love that. I think it's also a reflection of myself. But I didn't love it. I didn't thought I was good at it at the beginning. So it's so funny that something that I thought that I was not good at became my strength, which is very poetic. And I really like it. But honestly, it was not my plan. Just people asked me for it, and especially I did a lot. The most that I've done in my career is Vogue Beauty, which is amazing.
It is quite amazing.
Yes.
I mean,
That's what I did with you.
yes,
back
with
then
beauty.
when I was working.
What do you think was the biggest obstacle, a challenge that you overcame, but which taught you a lesson and helped you to go further?
There is a tough question because there's so many. What I think has
One of
Yeah.
the first that comes to your mind.
the first, I feel what the biggest challenge and what helped me the most is to be resilient, is to endure, is to be here against adversity. And yes, it's a struggle, especially to survive in a city like New York City, when you constantly have to be hustling, you constantly have to be surviving. Isn't it that? I feel like you're just surviving here in New York. But at the end, there's the reward that comes from that, because it's such a cliche, but if you can make it here in New York City, you can make it anywhere. And that's what people see you that way too, because when I go to other countries, it's like, oh, you live in New York City, and I instantly get respect. It's like they don't know me, they don't know anything, but
just the fact
that I'm here in New York, that I've been living in New York, working in New York, gives me credibility. It gives me, just like by default, some kind of respect, and I earned it. We earned it.
Well, it's a fact. Come on.
Yes. I mean, everybody that gets to survive here is, you earn that achievement. So, but I think it's that.
It's competition. It's life issues here. On the other hand, then looking for work, getting paid, number of people waiting to take your spot wherever you are. Even as a waiter in Mexican restaurant, there are like 100 people waiting for that position. So it is tough in many different ways, not just for fashion industry.
And especially fashion and creativity. You have to constantly prove yourself. You have to constantly look for the next gig to get, right? You never know if it's
and nothing is secure. Even if you get that gig, will it get published?
There's a lot of uncertainty in our profession.
A lot, and it's nerve-wracking.
It is nerve-wracking.
All day long.
Do you think people in such business are kind of masochists in a way?
I feel a little bit, yes. But you know what? Because I asked that question so much, like, why am I still here? Because it's not an easy life. It's amazing when get the highlights of it, but it's not an easy life. However, I feel we get a lot of happiness by, earning it. Don't you get it?
Yes, and that happiness, I think it's much bigger here than succeeding in smaller cities or countries. And I think that's what we are addicted to.
Yes.
And just the fact that all dreams come true in New York, not easy, but when they do, they're bigger and they're better. That's what actually is driving us. It's not masochism.
The rewards feel great. Getting there feels amazing. And that's why I really love seeing other people succeed. I know how success feels, and I know the joy that it comes out of it. And I feel that's an answer to that question. It is a struggle, it is difficult, but the reward feels so good. It's so good.
Do you feel like your dreams are growing after every single success, small or big?
Not growing, but changing.
Changing in different direction or something else?
Yes, very much. For example, I'm not the same photographer that I was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Probably, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, my goal was to keep publishing a Vogue cover and this and that. Not anymore. Now I feel my goals are changed, especially because our industry is changing too.
Yeah, but you also got that Vogue cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 100, and then you got all that work published.
But I could have get more, because it's not the same being published and Vogue Australia.
Yeah, but
Vogue
it's not
Taiwan.
Same dream. I mean, you achieved the dream with the first or fifth.
Yes, of course. If you will ask me, for example, my goal, of course, would be like, I want a Vogue US cover. I want a Vogue Paris cover. Of course, I never got there. I tried, and I get many other covers of Vogue. Back then, that was my goal. And I feel like for any fashion photographer, the goal is quite similar. We want to get there to the best of the best. But definitely what I notice is like my goals are changed. They're different now. especially because we live in a different world with social media and with everything that is happening in the world. Everything is changing. For example, right now, I really like to be present in social media and to talk. You know, I don't know why, but I felt drawn like a couple of years ago. It's like, I just feel this urgency to talk. And I just feel this urgency to teach, to share. And definitely, I still have big goals, like big dreams, but my dreams are definitely changed through my path. And yeah.
Do you think it's because probably you got so much knowledge throughout the years and it's like in a jar, like bubbling and coming like up to the top, and so you cannot hold it anymore, and you need to not just overflow it but go somewhere in the better jar.
And you know what? Well, it's you've something very true, Vlada, because I feel not only that I have so much in me, it's the joy when I share that and I can see the spark in someone else's eyes when they hear it and they understand and then they grow from it. That's amazing. You know, when I share something so simple, I'm just sharing, I'm just talking, but I'm making another human being to be inspired or to grow professionally or personally. That's amazing.
But that's connection.
That's a human experience, which I love. And I think we all love. What is most successful, or where you're drawn in social media? I feel like when you have a human experience, when you see truth, when you see vulnerability, when you see the human being behind the screen, behind, you know, the digital world. So I really into just sharing my human experience, how I see things, not only in my career, not only as a photographer, but as a human being. Because more than teaching you how to be a better photographer or creative or whatever, I want to inspire you. Because don't you think that being inspired is one of the best feelings in the world?
Yes, but a lot of people are not valuing that enough, because I think as a creative, as an artist, you have that urge to share something yours personally with others more than people who are not as creative and as artistically oriented.
Because being creative has to do a lot with emotions.
Exactly.
It's an emotional thing. Definitely something personal too.
So when you teach, do you teach more of a technical stuff, or can you teach a creativity?
That's a great question.
Okay, so we're talking about teaching and his class and everything, but we did not say that Enrique has masterclass.
Yes, so I started teaching about photography like 2 years ago. I have a masterclass online about fashion photography, and I've been giving workshops. But that is a great question, because what I say to my students, and they love it, is that I'm not a technical photographer. Of course, I know the technique. I know how to use a camera and I know how to use light. But I am not this kind of photographer that breaks their head just thinking about the lighting and just being very meticulous about it. I am more about the feeling. And that's what I'm trying for them to see, that you can achieve all this work that you see here. I did it with one light or two lights or with sunlight. And I want you to know that you don't need all of this big equipment and setup to do great things. I encourage them to invest more in the creative process. I don't think you can teach being creative, but at least you can see other people, the value that goes into it, and to finding that, because finding inspiration is hard too. Them. And I let them know my whole process. You know, what inspires you? What is it? Is it a flower? Is an image? Just take that as a starting point. Just that little thing. And then I show you my process to see how I do it, so you can follow those steps and maybe they'll help you. But I encourage them to not be very technical, but to be, to just create whatever they feel and whatever they like and whatever they're passionate about. So I don't necessarily teach how to use a camera or how to use a light, but I let you know my creative process, which I think has a lot of value.
I feel like sometimes I remember during the shows when they do hair, and the key hairdressers, they're so good at what they do. Like they just know, there's some, and I see that it's not a technique. It's something about the feeling,
Right.
And they teach all other hairdressers there. And then when let's say I went to a regular hair salon and I see how they just like so technical, and then I look at it, it never looks as like easy,
Right. Yes.
And I see that whenever these people who were studying like the techniques, then it's so difficult for them to relearn it and
Right.
to
let go of it.
Yeah,
Let
to
go.
just make it with
Yes.
their soul.
And
So it's probably the same
and it's
with
a balance of both, because you need the basis
yeah.
of it. You need to know just the basic, but there's so much value in going with your gut, going with your
Have some
intuition.
freedom.
Yes, and to just flow in that direction. There's so you can. It's so wonderful, because I teach them how, for example, in many of the Vogue covers that I shot, it started with a very specific idea, but then it grew and morphed into something else that is even more beautiful. And that came by allowing myself to do it.
Being brave.
Not yes, because we might have this idea and like we want to force it and make it work, but if it's not working there, just go the other way.
Let it go.
And it's gonna let it go. It's gonna grow. It's gonna become something different, and most of the time even better. I feel one of the images that I like the most in my portfolio are mistakes. They're like, yes. For example, I love this photo. This was a lighting test. It was
really?
not even, the image.
Fine.
And it was also a mistake because, for me, when I was doing that photo, it was like the lighting is not good. This color is not right. But then when I came back in post-production and I saw it, and then I think I clicked something by mistake in Photoshop, and then changed the colors to a different way. It's like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. It was a mistake. It was not what it was intended to be, but it became something beautiful. And many, many times that has happened to me. Something that, sometimes I want to force something and it's not working. I just have to let it go. And just go in whatever way is flowing my emotion or the moment or the energy or whatever is working in that moment.
Did you have that experience with your students that you're teaching now, that they would show you something and they would think it's not right, or vice versa, and you would tell them, oh, that actually...
Yes, very much. Because I feel nowadays my eye is very trained to see the potential of things. Because you might see an image and you might think that is not much of it, but I know that if you frame it this way, if you give it this contrast and this lighting correction, it's going to become amazing. I love to see potential in things, and that's something that I love to see about my students, that they feel like their work is not enough. And then I see, oh my God, but there's so much potential in here. Look at what you did here. It's amazing. And I love to see in younger people, younger photographers, first of all, that they're so daring. It's like, they're just so like, they dare to do things that I will never approach in that way. First of all, it's so refreshing. And then something that I will consider that I might be doing wrong, they do it, and it's so beautiful. When in my first workshop, so we have this model, and I'm very used to have the model in front of me, and I'm shooting from this point of view. Since we were all shooting together, they all had to shoot from different angles. And some of those angles that they did, oh my God, they're so gorgeous. And that, came for, just trying to adapt to the situation. There was the only spot that they had, and then they did it in this angle that I consider, the frontal one is the most, the one that everybody wants. But when they're exploring other things, they took way better than mine. Way better, yes. Way better than mine, because they're allowing themselves to solve a problem, and then just working with what they have and explore new angles. It's amazing. That's what I love.
Being brave again.
Yes, just being brave and just daring to,
Dare
just-
to dare.
yeah, just dare to dare, just do it, even if you don't think you're ready for it.
I don't think we're ever ready.
Yes, I will never.
As a creative, you're
Yes.
never ready enough.
There's never going to be the perfect environment for things. We're always postponing things because it's not the right moment. I am not ready. But in that way, in the Spanish we say, se nos va la vida. Life's,
Keep going.
yeah, without you.
Yes, without you.
So, but it takes a lot of guts to do it.
So, photography and the industry have changed, right, throughout the years. You started from film, then it's digital. Now we're coming to AI age. What are your
Yes.
thoughts on that?
Well, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. What is the word?
Inevitable?
Inevitable. Where AI, it is what it is. It also happened, when we jump from film to digital. It is what it is, and we have to adjust ourselves to it. So I said that instead of fighting against it, we just have to go with it. We just have to use it. We cannot live in the past. We cannot be melancholic about things the way they were. And if we want to survive and we want to keep going, then we need to adapt and we need to change. Is it gonna change drastically our careers? Of course. Probably we photographers, we're going to be obsolete in 10, 20 years.
As us models.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we earlier than 20 years.
Everybody might be replaced by it, but it is what it is, and it is where the world is going, and we just have to ride that wave and find new paths and just go with it.
Have you seen that photograph that was, I think it won like the best photo of, there was a beach, and they show how it was the original one and how everything was changed. So it's not only like saturation and like all of these things, but they also like literally removed a lot of things or like placed a lot of things. So at the end of the day, like, what is the photography there when everything is like it's like totally like two different pictures, like just a canvas?
I feel is the way you approach it, because for me at the end, photography could be two things. It could be about reality or it could be about art. And and when it's about art, it could be anything you want. You can change it as much as you want. You can modify it as much as you want. Because at the end of the day, as an artist, I think you're allowed to it. In the same way, if you're a painter, you paint whatever you want and the way you want it. So I feel photography could be two things. Either about reality and just like, depicting the real life how it is without changing it. And if you modified it, it's okay too. It's your art, is your creation. I think both.
So it's sort of like a movie. It can be a documentary,
right?
And it can be Avatar.
Science fiction.
It could be drama or it could be real life. It could be a reality show or it could be, a dramatization of something. I think it's both. I don't think it's that one thing.
Fits all. Yeah.
Yes, it's a different approach to whatever way you want to see it. And I am scared about AI, yes. But I'm okay with it too.
Yeah. We'll deal with it.
Yeah.
We deal with it.
Hopefully.
I am intrigued where that is going to take us. Like how far, like the world's going to change so much.
Are you using it?
Of course I'm using it. And I am not against it because it's very helpful in many ways. Especially when I'm using a lot of AI to write things. It's like, this is my idea. Where can I take it? So I'm taking those tools in my advantage. And also for Photoshop, something that it will take me 20 minutes to achieve, AI can do it in 2 seconds. So it's good for my job.
Why deny it, right?
Yes, it's like I'm going to use all those tools in my advantage as much as I can. And I don't know if I'm going to be, completely replaced in 20 years from AI, but it is what it is. I'm
We'll
gonna
die
ride
anyway,
that
right?
way.
We'll die anyway.
Well, I am intrigued.
Optimistic Vlada is at the end of the day, we will all die.
I mean, that's the only fact that is a fact 100%.
Yeah, that is realistic. But I kind of want to be, I want to be,
Around to see.
I want to see. I do want to see. Even if the world falls apart, I kind of want to see.
You want to see?
So maybe we can ask AI what
I
will
do.
happen when I die, how the world will look like.
I want to be a witness of all of that. Even if it's the doom or humanity. I want to be a witness of that.
You're brave.
You brave? You don't want?
I'm scared.
Why?
I don't know. Why? Why not? I mean, I saw the
Why
I saw
not?
the movies.
I'm also scared.
It's scary. I don't know.
But you know what? At the end, I really, for example, the movies, I love going to the movies because I want to feel something. If I'm going to see a drama, I want to cry. If I'm going to see a scary movie, I want to be scared. If I'm going to see a comedy, I want to laugh.
Yeah.
I want to feel something.
And don't you like it when you feel all of it in the same movie?
I know it's a roller coaster, and I'm very disappointed
When there's nothing.
there's nothing. Make me feel something. You know,
That's also the feeling.
yeah.
Nothing. Nothing.
But as creatives, I feel like we want to feel
Yes.
things.
And sometimes we want intensity of it.
Yes, we like it. There's a rush
Drama.
Masochist.
of it. It doesn't have to be drama. It just have to be a good feeling about something.
Is scary, being scared a good feeling of something?
Well,
Good feeling of being scared?
at least we're feeling something. But yes, even if I go to the movies, I really want to be scared. If
We're
I'm going
not
to see a
AI.
horror, I want to feel the human feeling of it. It's like fear, sadness, happiness, everything. Isn't it that how, the wonderful thing about humans that
Yeah.
we can feel?
Yeah, not like AI.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna ask AI, do
Can
they
you
feel?
feel?
Yeah, I will try to be rude and see how do they.
Actually, the one I was in Russia, and my parents have this Russian one. My Alexa in America, she has no feelings. Like she's just like brum, 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 all the time the same note. That one, she said something and she didn't answer she didn't say I don't know. She was trying to trick me, giving me wrong answers. I'm like, can you tell me again? I was asking her about the weather in Fahrenheit for some reason. I don't know. I don't understand them, but I just wanted to test her. And she didn't know the answer, but she was telling me something else. And I'm like, do you know Fahrenheit? She's like, yes, I know Fahrenheit is the system, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, can you tell me that? She doesn't say. And then I'm like, can you tell me? Do you know that? And then she reveals, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to your question. Saying, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to your question. And I'm like, why didn't you admit it from the beginning?
Vlada is fighting.
Yes, I did. Because I was so mad. I'm like, why she cannot just say, I don't know? Because Alexa says it. She's like, sorry, I don't have an answer. And this one was like this. And so I confronted her. And she changed the tone. She's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't meet your expectations. And I'm like, are you playing the victim right now? And then she said, yes, because she changed the moods. And I was like, how manipulative that thing is.
That thing is. Vlada had to fight with AI.
I did. And the funny thing then, and I asked her something again a little while later, different subject, and she was still talking to me yes. She replied no. And then my father came and he said something, and she was super uplifted, and she answered his question da 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 da.
When are you gonna get rid of this one?
Exactly.
Send her back to New York.
She understands it's a different person talking to her.
Different tone.
In the different tone.
Well, of course, it's going to evolve more into that to probably mimic human emotions. But at least nowadays, we are the ones who get to feel it. We get that.
And Russian Alexa doesn't.
Alisa, her name.
What is it? What is her name? And
Alisa.
Alisa.
Almost like Alexa, but Alisa.
Yeah.
Alisa. Very
Oh my
interesting, but
goodness.
I wouldn't fight it. Vlada.
Yeah, Vlada was super bored that day. I mean, I can tell.
Don't
But
fight it.
I think it's the fact that she spoke Russian, so it kind of brought me like, you know,
You'll see now.
I mean, it was the ease that I can speak with. So I used it and abused it.
Poor AI. Now she's like, I cannot deal with Russians coming back to Russia from US. They're so demanding.
Yeah.
I mean, I am using it, but I'm not fighting with it. I'm not checking the
I'm
feelings.
even polite. You know,
Yeah. Do you say please and sorry?
I said like, I'm sorry, this is not what I meant. I wanted this. Or like, can you do this, please?
Please.
Wow, that's so cool.
Maybe they will take that into account.
For me,
when
it's
they like,
rewrite, write, do it. It's like orders.
yes, but
And then there is always answer, happy to do it for you.
yeah,
Just what we like.
Yes.
I mean, they're nice to me, so I'm nice to them. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe they knock on my door like, this one never said please and thank you.
I was
Shorten
nice to you.
her.
Smart. Okay, I'll change my behavior now.
And you know, I mean, they could hold any kind of memory.
Yeah, that's true.
They have the archive. I mean, I'm very, very, very paranoid. Enrique was nice.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Ines wasn't nice. Ines gives us an order.
Okay. Back to business.
Yes, back to business. I have a question. Dreams, we all have it, but is there any brand or designer that you would like to, you never had chance to work with, but you would like to? And what kind of message would you send with that collaboration or work that would you like to do?
Honestly, I don't have a brand or a client that I will dream to work with. I just want to have fun. So, and you know what? I also want to get paid. So my dream job is the one that I can do for money and that I have a great time doing it. That is my dream job.
Amen.
Yes, very much. Because I already struggled so many years doing all this editorial work. Now I'm here to make money shamelessly because I feel, yes,
Why shameless?
very much. Because
Shameless.
I
Why,
feel-
yeah, but why you think it's shame to?
because for me, many years, there's another whole conversation that I have about money. Because for many years as a creative, I was negligent, very, I was not taking care of my finances because all the work always came to me easily. So I didn't have to look for it. But then it came a moment when the work stopped coming and I was like, how I got here is because I was negligent with that. I was never pursuing clients. And also I was the shame behind wanted to make money for some reason with me as a creative. First of all, to fight for my fee, like how should I charge about my work? What is the value of my work? So I always feel shame and uncomfortable talking about money in general. But nowadays, no. I am here to make money. First of all, because I deserve it. I earned all of my career that I've done, everything that I achieved. I am worthy of it and I deserve it. And there's more than enough for everyone. So I shouldn't be ashamed of wanting to, to make money and live a comfortable life. So right now, my goal is also part of my growth is to approach money in that way. I'm here to be creative and I'm here to be an artist, but also I'm here to make money because we live in a system at the end of the day.
Yes.
And for me, it was like that. For many years, I feel shame by pursuing something for money, but it's a balance. You need both to survive.
Yeah.
You need, to make money, make a living, and also make whatever makes you happy. Whatever creative work makes you happy. You have to do both.
Thank you so much for sharing this and touching this subject, because I also feel that that's kind of a common thing in this industry. And
I think we also grew up in times when money wasn't as important as now. It wasn't a talk. It was shame to talk about the salary and stuff. And nowadays, that's more. People are more talking about it openly. If they get paid or not get paid. In one way, I don't like it, because now if you have more, you're worth more, which is not really often true. But I think it's the changes we see in the world in general. Now money is more open thing.
And it should be. And the same way many other subjects, for example, for me personally, and something completely out of the subject here, there's many subjects that we consider taboo. One of them for me it was money, and also sex, because believe it or not, especially me coming from a Latin country and being a homosexual, I feel like exploring my own sexuality brought me a lot of confidence in myself as a human being, and allowed me to think differently about many things, including my career and the way that I approach things that are natural, because we're human. You know, sex and money and human relationships. So I feel it's very healthy to talk about something, whatever we consider a delicate subject, because it's very healthy for other people to listen to it, because you never know who other people are going through. And it might be very beneficial for them to know that someone else is going through the same feeling, to the same, problem. So money has been one of them. So
I also feel like in this industry, money was the subject not to touch, because everyone was paid different amount, right?
Yes.
Like you do the show, there's 100 of girls, one of them gets $1 million, another one gets a postcard saying thank you, right? So how do you, once I had this situation once, I had a photo shoot with the guy, and it's known that female models get used to, I don't know how it is now, but they used to get higher rates than the male models. And I got paid a lot for that shoot. And as we were walking out, we were talking, and he asked me, like, how much do you get paid for this? And I never spoke about it, and I don't know if I ever will. And I was like, I'd rather not to say anything. And he's like, yeah, because I got this amount, and it was, I can't remember exactly, but it was at least 10 times less than mine. And imagine if I told him the number.
Yeah, but at the agency, we get these instructions very often: do not talk about your rates to anyone.
I mean, that kind of made sense to me at that moment, because I don't know.
Because you were higher paid than him. If it was the opposite.
It's an uncomfortable conversation all the time. But the way that I'm approaching things now, I want to talk about uncomfortable things, because they're healthy. Not only for me, for everyone, for anyone who is listening. And how are we going to know if we don't talk about it? So many things, many subjects, but it is uncomfortable to talk about money, especially when you have to fight for your own value. It's like, how much I charge for myself, how much I'm worth. It's an uncomfortable subject.
You know what my friend once told me, Nina? She's like, when you're setting up your price, it's not the price for this hour that you give a person or a day. It's the price for 37 years of your life and 20 years of experience that you've been doing what you're going to do now in a day.
Yes. The same as me as a photographer, you're not paying me to click the camera. You pay me for what I know, for what I learned, for what I discovered through my career, from my experience, for my eye. So it is still uncomfortable, but I am talking about it. And it has given me a lot much confidence to be assertive. That's the word that I want to say. It's very healthy for me to be assertive and to learn to say no. Because before I was so afraid to say no, because I want everybody to like me. I want a client to like me. I want to be hired again. But I discover when the first time that I say no, how much more they value me. It's like I never forget this. The first time that I say no to a job because I thought it was not enough, they came back to me and they paid me what I was asking for. But it was because I say no. People, they will push you to see how farther they can go with you. If you don't fight back, if you don't speak back, if you don't talk back, they just kind of keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you. So you are yourself responsible for the boundaries in your life, for the whatever, you know, good or bad things are in your life. You're the only one responsible. You set your own boundaries. Of course, it's very difficult. It's not, I'm saying this with ease, but it's the struggle.
No, it's not
It's
easy.
very difficult. It's very difficult to be brave in general, to speak up for yourself. It's uncomfortable too.
I said no many times in my life. More than 9 times I said yes. For me, it's the other way around. I'm always no. First no, and then we will see. For
Well,
everything.
maybe, do you think it's a cultural thing?
No, I think it's my personality.
Okay.
Because if I do not fit everyone. You know, I have this straight line, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, not my cup of tea. Next. So it's same for the job.
Have you ever said no to someone from the team? Like, let's say you didn't want to work with someone. Have you said no?
Have you rejected someone
If I have rejected someone
in the team?
in the team, like for example, stop working with them in that moment, not yet.
I mean, after.
Not yet.
Not yet. He's like, I
It's
might
open,
consider
yeah.
that now.
Well, no, not yet, but definitely I won't work with that person again. Probably, I think I'm very easygoing in the moment. I just try to work with whatever.
Do you have
challenge.
black book?
Yes.
So
Very
you-
much.
Yeah, so if that person comes to you, you would
Oh, very much.
politely reject.
Yes, very much. And that's another thing. For example, recently, or a couple of years ago, I am very pro again. First of all, I like it so much to have other photographer friends. You know, because at the beginning of my career, like 10 years ago, I was like so jealous of everything that I was doing. Like, I don't want to share my secret. I don't want to. But nowadays, no, I really want to have other photographer friends. Why? Because we can talk about other toxic clients, other, you know, other.
And put them in the black book.
Yes. And also, it's so much, I mean, we go further. We grow even more when we, you know,
Exchange
yeah,
the knowledge.
not only exchange, we help each other.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
that's true.
I help you, you help me. You gonna, and especially, but what I love especially is that it's like when they warn me, it's like, I work with this assistant and it was like this, and that. I work with this client and it was like this, and that. It's valuable information, and we helping each other, and we grow. We get stronger from that, and I'm more than sure that you models have the same, you know, kind of problem, I guess, because we're not something unified.
Yes.
It's like we barely unified as an industry within photographers, within makeup artists, within models. I feel like there's only a few organizations of models where they come together to help each other. I don't know about that, but I feel like we need to.
We should
We should.
Definitely.
create community.
Especially, this is the way I feel about models, especially here in New York City. I feel for many of them because many of them, they're so young. They're so young and they're thrown into the jungle in a city like New York. And they're 14, they're 15, 17. It was difficult for me at 25. I can imagine you being a girl, a teenager, away from your country, away from your family, in a city like New York City. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It is. How
That's-
old were you when you came?
17.
Oh, I was older. I was 20.
And how was it for you, Vlada?
Different. Now it's kind of blurred from what I remember. But again, I was thinking about it actually today, and I think it helped that I was so young and it was just everything was unknown. Just what Jocelyn said yesterday. Just because you don't know, you're not expecting anything, so you're just going through it and
You're figuring out
you're
on the
figuring
way.
out, yeah. So there were tough times, of course, but again, I think I was blessed with people who surrounded me. My agency was taking really good care of me. I cannot thank them enough.
Do you think, Vlada, I don't know much about career. Of course, I've seen it. But do you think it was because you had success from the very beginning?
I think that also helps, of course, because the moment you start booking, you
You valued.
you valued. You're the
Yes.
money maker.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm talking because I got to experience that. I tested a lot of girls. They were coming to this studio and they were like 14. So young. Like for me, it was scary. Like I walk you to the subway, please. It's like they're going away at night in a neighborhood like this, which is not dangerous, but it's New York City.
You never know.
You never know.
Never know.
So I feel like models in that way and many other ways are so exposed.
I remember there was a fitting for a Calvin Klein until 3 in the morning in New York. It was my first fashion week in New York. I don't know the city yet. It's just, trying to, again, 3 a.m., 3:30. And I went to the subway. Thank God it was working because I didn't have money for taxi. And there was another girl walking with me from that fitting. So she was with me in the subway and she said, I'm going to walk you. So she was with me. But then I can't remember. Somehow I just got to the model apartment in the middle of the night. And then at 6 a.m. was another call time. I don't know. Now, I would be scared to do that.
I mean, like I said, first of all, I am a guy. I was here at 25. Life is completely different to me. I was scared. It was a lot for me. I cannot imagine, one, being a girl, being that young, being that alone, because many of you come here alone.
Yeah.
Away from everything that you know. In a city like New York City is too much.
Yeah.
I was older. I was 21, and I didn't go uptown more than 68. That was my limit. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. But I was once I was called for the fitting for Marc Jacobs like 2 a.m. and I said no. They're like, okay,
love it.
Can you do it 7 a.m.? Yeah. 2 a.m.
You
No.
see, you just have to ask.
2 a.m. No.
I guess you were the only one who ever said no.
Ever.
To Marc Jacobs.
I mean, back then, it's not that I don't value Marc Jacobs enough, but I value my sleep more than anything else.
And your
And
safety.
and I just imagine I lived in Chelsea, and Marc Jacobs casting is Soho, and I was like,
How do I get there, right?
I was like, no, like there was no connection in my head. How do I make it? And why? Why 2 a.m. when the same dress will wait for me at 7, 10, 15? That was my logic. So I said no. And the agency, I had a really good agent who really was paying attention to me. And I said no so many times, so they knew they could get that answer from me, so they were not surprised. I mean, she was like, it's Marc Jacobs. I'm like, if it was, I don't know, John Smith, I would say no. It's 2 a.m. It's not the fact who I'm going to see. It's the fact that it's 2 a.m.
But Ines, you were very successful from the beginning in your career.
No, I had waves. My start was really good, but then I decided that I don't want that. I want to go to Japan. And I stayed in Japan for 3 years, and I started all over back in 2004 and 5. It's just my personality. I value, do I love to sleep more or put myself out to danger? I walked the show. I didn't lose anything. It was risky. Yes, it was risky. But then I was like, maybe I never make it to the casting.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly. Then they will lose you forever.
I will not walk the show for sure, but I will not walk any street of,
And sometimes it's just common sense.
Yeah.
But also, New York wasn't my first big city. I lived in London, Paris, Tokyo, Milan before coming to New York. So I was kind of more experienced compared to Vlada. So I already knew how dangerous it could be and how, that I'm making decisions to put myself in danger or not. So I was older and more aware of the things.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I was more brave to say no.
Yeah, for sure.
And another thing, I was doing e-commerce and catalogs, I was making money. For me, that was more value than any show
course.
ever. I loved shows. I enjoyed show, but show pays zero, you know, and this pays something. So that was always for me how I, you know, pick the job or how I make decision. Is it worth it? What do I get?
Right.
Yeah,
What
but
do
then
I-
some shows also pay great amount.
Yeah, but they, you know, this is the story about 2 a.m. You know, if I had to go to JFK at 4 a.m., I'm not stopping the taxi. You send me a driver. It's not diva mode. It's just that's how I felt good. I'm paying it. You know, I'm paying for both. So I'm choosing to pay $200 driver to take me to JFK because I felt safer. I mean, imagine 4 a.m. waving a taxi in New York City. Things like that. I think I was thinking much more than at 17. But I did a lot of crazy things, not thinking about my safety as well. So at 16 and 17.
But it looks like you are getting your compass through your gut.
Yes.
It's whatever you feel
And I
is
was
right.
never afraid to say no. You know, girls are afraid to say no.
Everybody. I've been afraid to say no.
I was
many
never
times.
afraid to say no.
That is great.
That is
because
great,
That
yes.
took me a long time to learn. To have the courage to say no.
So,
Time to wrap up.
time to wrap up. I want to guys show this.
Yay!
Do you remember this?
This is the
course I
magazine,
do.
and Ricky actually brought it at the first recording.
first
That was
recording.
actually our, as we mentioned earlier, it was very first recording of this podcast, and Enrique was our test animal.
Mouse.
And he brought this magazine to Ines, so we're going to look through
Well,
it.
I'm very glad that you're recreating these moments.
Yes, when I look
Because
at it.
that should happen. And it's kind of poetic that you've seen it here in
Here.
the space where actually
Right?
we
Yeah,
shot
it
it.
actually happened.
Yes.
Did you shoot it on this wall?
No, this one.
We have like four walls in here. Do you
But we
remember?
were shooting this one.
We
They were sleeping there while I was doing makeup
Right.
over there, and we were shooting
I
here.
have that photo, by the
Yes.
way. I have the photo. We have a couple of walls here. They were painting it, and that day, all of those colors and shapes. And yes, that crazy makeup and hair
Yeah.
took a long time.
I can
Yeah.
see why.
Yes. That
Oh my
was the
god, he
concept.
was so
It was like different makeup for
Yeah, we would
the nails.
wash
and-
completely off the whole face and start all over again for every single image.
Wow, that I don't remember.
Yeah, with it, yeah.
Yeah, that was here in this space.
Yeah.
That's kind of really nice.
Right?
Yes.
And this was this was my favorite too, and this is the image that scared my
But for
the makeup
that, you
that
have to
scared
have
me.
your eyes closed, right?
Yes, this eye is closed. This is all
Yeah.
painting.
I
Both eyes are
remember
closed.
that.
Both eyes are closed, but this one is.
Yes.
And I walked out the door, and my little boy was waiting for me downstairs.
That was the
and
look
he
that
saw-
you walked
Yes.
out. Oh.
And I asked him now. Of course, he does not remember. He was too. Do you like this photo? It's funny and scary at the same time.
Well,
Maybe
it-
it's subconsciously.
Because first of all, you, in that photo, you are closing your. The way it works
Yes.
is because you're closing your eyes.
Yes.
Now imagine you walking around with your eyes open,
Open.
with another eye.
yeah, giggled.
But yes,
2016.
I know. Oh
June.
my God.
We shot it in May.
Wow.
We shot it in May.
We shot it in May. It was
And
published in
we're
June.
recording in May right now.
Yes.
And we probably will air this episode in
Not
We'll
June, but
see.
July.
August.
Yeah. Or August.
Well, that's very poetic.
Very, very poetic. And the first episode, last job, same studio, a lot of things. Probably there is
It's a
something more.
circle.
Yes.
It's a circle.
Probably there is something more. Maybe new job. Ines come back with Enrique into modeling as starting a new circle.
Yeah, why not?
Definitely starting a new circle with podcast. As you.
In me too.
Yeah.
I also have my own podcast.
Yes. So this is what I wanted to mention at some point, but I didn't want to interrupt you. When we recorded the very first time, you were preparing masterclass and you were thinking about doing podcasts, and I was like, do it, and I didn't know what I was doing. But it felt really good to have to. Okay, we're recording now 2 years later, almost 2 years later, but now you accomplished all these things that back then you were talking about. Planning and dreaming about it.
Yes, back then I was just starting my masterclass, which was a lot of work, and it's out now, and it has been a journey, a nice journey, and also starting my podcast, which I also enjoy it a lot, because like I said, I really liked.
Can you please say the name and where people can find you?
I have I have Enrique Vega podcast, and it's on Spotify and at all the platforms, and also in YouTube. And the first season is in Spanish, because what I like to do with this first season is to highlight other Latin talent. And the next season I'm planning to do it in English. We started talking about things in the industry, because I interview other photographers, makeup artists, and models, and I think I'm going to do the same in English. And I'm very glad that I think this is my first fashion podcast in English with you.
So you're practicing now, preparing for your own.
Very much.
Yes.
But I'm I enjoy very much having conversations with other people and listening to them, exchanging stories, and first of all, just getting things out there. Just whatever we feel uncomfortable about talking, or we feel in general, I feel it's very healthy to talk about stuff. Uncomfortable or not uncomfortable, just to talk about it is very healthy.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy it.
Okay, fun wrap up. This or that game.
Ooh, okay.
We did not have it in the first episode, but we do now.
We didn't?
No.
I think we did.
We did? I don't
Maybe.
remember.
Okay.
Whatever.
But it's new one anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll start.
How is the dynamic? So you're just kind
So we're just gonna give you two options and you pick one. Fast. Try not to think, not rationalize. You might think
second.
differently later, but yeah.
Okay, so you're just gonna say one word? Just
Sometimes sentence.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
Golden hour light or flash drama?
Oof, golden hour.
One perfect shot or 100 to choose from?
One perfect shot.
Roller coaster or lazy river?
Lazy river.
Trust your instinct or trust the process?
The instinct, of course, 100%.
Solo model or group dynamics?
Group dynamics.
Say cheese or surf face?
Neither.
Aliens or ghosts?
Oof. Can I say both?
Ooh, interesting.
Cheating.
Yeah, cheating.
Constantly.
Two negatives.
Shoot with no Wi-Fi or shoot with no assistant?
Oof, no Wi-Fi.
Editorial in the desert or underwater concept shot?
Desert. I am from the desert.
And next question, a little bit longer.
Okay.
Imagine if you were to choose a look for Ines's Vogue Taiwan comeback cover after 9 years. What would that be? Timeless power, like, powerful woman, or animation manga?
Timeless power. Yes.
Coming back, different.
Powerful. Yes, 100%.
That would be fun.
Yes. That was fun.
That was
And thank you so much for having me in your podcast and your space. It's such a pleasure to have you both, to see your faces, to talk with you, and to be here with you talking about many things. I'm very, very grateful for you having me back.
Thank you for having us at your space, telling us your story, reconnecting, revisiting all the memories, joy, and sharing your energy with us and our audience. It's a blast.
My pleasure.
And
My pleasure.
please, may your work continue to inspire and evolve. And to our audience, guys, if you felt a little spark and if you had an inspiration to follow your dream just a little bit harder, make sure you share it with your friends, you like, subscribe, leave a comment. And that's all because of the Enrique here today.
Yes,
Thank you
definitely,
so much.
definitely.
Thank you, and I hope.
And as
As
always,
always,
As always,
fashion fades,
but the stories stay forever.
ooh, I like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Enrique,
much.
so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.